So what I have done is I went ahead and tried to analyze as best as I can the new Heroic Tavern Brawl to figure out really, is it worth it? Is Blizzard making money on this or losing money? Because there's a lot of conflicting information out there. And so here's what I've done. This is just the master data table right here. So this is purely about just the data that you have in the spreadsheet from Blizzard. And then I also used win rate representation from Arena, because essentially this is the same as Arena as far as the structure. As long as they use the same or similar matchmaking algorithms, you should be seeing similar finishes compared there. So these are representative in a percentage, but because I later do it per group of 100, I didn't actually put it as a percentage here. Down here, I've got a multiplier, because there's a lot of dissent in the community about, is 100 gold equal to 100 dust or more or less? The actuality is yes and no. Basically, the more full your collection is, the more that it kind of devalues your resources, right? So in the end, I did it as a 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 gold to 1 dust ratio, a 1 gold to 3 dust ratio, and a 1 gold to 5 dust ratio. This goes from, you have a complete 1-to-1 is like you have a full collection, and then 1-to-5 is like you're a brand new player. 1-to-3 is kind of most people somewhere in the middle. So doing that, then you've got to weigh everything based on that, right? So you're looking at 1/3, 1/5 here. Gold is 1%. The packs is 100%. Right? So basically 1 gold equals 1/100th of a pack, because you can buy a pack for 100 gold, right? And then this is interesting here. A lot of people are trying to equate 100 gold to $1, which isn't necessarily true. Packs, the more you buy, the more that they're kind of tiered. And they kind of vary on average. I would venture to guess most people pay around $1.33 to $1.50 a pack. And of course, this here is the total cost of entry. And I've got this over here as well because I'm lazy. So this gold part here, though, is golden legendaries. There's also a lot of dissent about how much is a golden legendary actually worth. If you were going to buy it in the store, how much is it worth? We don't really know. Some are like 3,200 dust. Some are like, well, no, 1,600 about. Some are like nothing because they don't necessarily add to the collection unless they're a legendary you don't have, and they end up being worth 1,600 dust. We just have it at 16, somewhere kind of nice and in the middle. So using this information, we can go ahead and take a look. So across all the different ratios, if you have a 0 win, basically you get $1.33 back. You get 1 pack back. So you're getting 13% your initial investment overall. And this scales up. Once you get to yellow, that's 100 to 200% return on investment. So that's something where, hey, I didn't lose anything. I didn't gain especially a lot, but I didn't lose anything. And then over 200% I put in the green. As you can see here, in a 1-to-1 gold dust ratio, you're not in the yellow until 4 wins, where the others are 5 wins, but you're also in the green sooner at 8 wins, whereas instead you're in at 9 wins, right? So you've got that going for you. Now scrolling down a little bit, this is the bread and butter here. So essentially, what's the return on investment? What's the net win loss right here, which you can see like a 12 win player is getting somewhere around like $135 to $150 return on investment. So basically you just take this number minus 10 in each one. And then what you do is take those win-loss ratios and then you multiply them by the percentage of players who should get that to actually get the total players take. Now this is per 100 runs. So per 100 runs, you are looking at essentially somewhere between $53 to $167 per 100 runs. And 100 runs at 100 gold a piece, so that's like 10,000 gold. So in the end, it essentially means that Blizzard is likely making about $150 for every $1,000 spent. And that's it. So that's just doing some ROI stuff. Scenario 2 is probably the most accurate of all of that. So this is my take on how like the win rates should, or the Tavern Brawl affects the game. But in the end, I don't think that this is a 1 week Tavern Brawl. So what people have to keep in mind is this isn't a long-term monetization strategy. It's probably just an egg or a nugget of a larger idea we'll see come into fruition later on. So yeah, well, that's my take on it. And we will go from there. Yeah, cool.